everybody, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associates. Welcome to day 5 of the 12 days of Waxmas. We're posting 12 videos, 12 consecutive nights, with the last one falling on Christmas night for you. So we've got 3 patients in this compilation video. The first patient here, you can see the wax is very, very dark. So it's old wax. It's been pushed right up against the eardrum by using Q-tips, and the patient then got desperate and started throwing all sorts of lotions and potions in there, which has changed the consistency of the wax to this very thick type of wax. So we're just teasing this top section away now, just trying to loosen this off the canal wall so we can start to get a look at the eardrum behind. And as you can see, it's just folding forwards and it's just detached there. So we're going to start taking these little sticky pieces out first. So the aim here is to try and remove some of the looser pieces off the eardrum first of all, before we start working on this central section of the drum here. So we've taken that bit off the left canal wall there. It's also taken another little piece off the top of the eardrum. So you can see the material is quite thick actually that's sitting on top of the drum. So we can just start to see the beginning, the top of the eardrum there. So I'm aiming now for the lower section, trying to lift out of the valley. Now if this wax is really sticky and thick, then if it's sat down in that valley, it's going to really bind in there and it's going to be an awkward piece of wax to get out. So at the moment, I'm just clearing away some of this to the right-hand side, which is just going to improve my view when I go in a bit deeper. And we're going to aim for this top section now. Let's see if we can fold a little bit more forwards and draw this out, because that's where we've had most luck removing the wax so far. And you can see as we get a grip, you'll just start to see the wax pull towards the camera a little bit, so pull towards the outer part of the ear canal. There we are, you can just see it just folding away. Now what you've got to the right hand side is a kind of anterior recess. So what you've got there is a little valley that sits there as well. And unfortunately the wax is all, because the Q-tip's gone in, it's compressed the wax into all these valleys and nooks and crannies in here. So it's difficult to try and shift this along. I'm trying to pull from this valley if we can, but it's just so thick and sticky. You can see it looks like a letter J. You can see it coming down there and up the other side. So we'll pop a little bit of olive oil in here. It's going to help me get a grip. It's also going to reduce the stickiness and help it slide across the canal a little bit better. So we'll aim for the bottom section again for the valley. Good grip there. That bottom part of the wax just disappeared into the suction tube. Now what we've got to try and do is get it from this recess. So what we're going to do now is we're going to very gently maintain a grip and then slowly pull to the left while maintaining the grip. So we're going to draw the wax out of the valley, okay? So you can see that motion there, getting a good grip. As we pull it there, it's just starting to move. We're just starting to see a little bit of soft wax creeping onto the side of the camera there, so we'll just give that a bit of a clean. Okay, keep your eyes peeled for this one now, guys, because it does move quickly. So when we get a grip, you can see it coming away. It's starting to tease away. There we are. See that bottom portion just starting to move a little bit more. We've got this peel now just in front of it, this dry skin that's been holding this in. So let's peel that away. There we go. Now, if we get a grip there, did you see that whole thing just fly forwards then and the whole valley section comes away? Now, this is the benefit of using a little bit of olive oil in here. It's just going to lubricate the skin as well. So if you do start to get that little bit of movement, it's not going to stick to the skin. It's going to slide across the top of the olive oil and it's going to come out a lot quicker. So you can see the eardrum there. It looks a little bit dull, but it's had everything pressed up against it. So it's not surprising, really. You'll see the blood vessels there in the center. So here we go. We've got a tank shot for you guys. Everything got sucked inside the machine, unfortunately. So all the little bits in there. The water you can see when we're suctioning, and it's quite thick, sticky stuff like that, we use the water just to flush the suction tube through, just to maintain that suction. So this is the second patient in this compilation, and what you'll see here is this patient's come through. This wax is much, much drier. We've also got some dry skin to the right-hand side here. So this patient attended because their hearing aids were whistling constantly. What you get with wax, especially this type of wax here, when it forms this sort of wall in the ear canal, the sound from the hearing aid comes out, hits that wall and bounces back. Now, if there's any gap around the piece of the hearing aid that's in the ear there, it's going to cause some feedback, some whistling. So we can see we're just loosening loosening this from the base section there. You can see the wax is the slightly grayer material to the right side, that kind of very beige grey colour. Now watch as we get a grip on this, that's the skin. You can see it actually stretching off the canal there. So as soon as we break that, that's the only thing holding this plug in, so the whole thing starts to come away. So there we go, you can see we've got that mixture of dry skin and a wax plug there all mixed together. And when we take a look behind it, the eardrum looks absolutely spot on. So lovely shiny eardrum there, guys. Good light reflex there. You can see the hammer bone off to the right side. So this is the same patient now with their second ear. Now this is mostly kind of skin that's all dried in this circular fashion around the outside edge of the ear canal. Similar issue with this one really. Patient was experiencing a little bit of whistling, but more of a discomfort really on this side. So some itching, some irritation in the ear canal. And that's usually because the end of the hearing aid will be pressing against this. And when you look at how this peels away now, it's one continuous piece. So if the end of the hearing aid is pressing against it, it'll just keep pushing that further in, and it can be quite irritating. So we've got a good grip here. We're just wiggling our little socks off to try and get this one out, trying to detach it from the canal wall and bring it out at the same time. There we go. So we've got that piece looking lovely and healthy there. This last section now, a little bit of dry skin that's got suctioned in. And just take these little loose bits away from the outside edge. You can see these little lifts of dry skin all the way along. Eardrum there looking nice and healthy. You can see these two little fine hairs in here. Very dangerous to remove those because they're sitting right on top of the eardrum. So bath showers, those will wash away on their own. So we've got two pieces, 1.5 centimetres. Well, they're both about 1.5 centimetres actually. So altogether 1 1/8 inch, maybe 1 inch if we squish them together a little bit. Patient very relieved to get that out though. So last patient now in the compilation, similar story. We've got this plug of wax in here, a little bit of dry skin as well. So we're going to pop some olive oil in first of all, just to loosen everything up. And you can see the dry skin coming away there. It's actually lifting from the canal. Look at that white material, that's the skin. Just getting a grip on the block of wax behind it. There's a little bit of skin's flicked up in front, so if we can suction that away, there we are, there comes the block. So we'll take this away. Quite a young chap this was, been suffering with their ears for a little while, kind of intermittent hearing loss, kind of blocking, unblocking all the time. You can see behind that now we've got this much, much deeper section. So we've got a grip on that now with the suction tube. There we are, out that comes. And we've got some dry skin here, so we'll just get rid of this. Now, this patient did actually have two issues going on here. So the first of which was this wax issue, but you're going to take a look at the eardrum in a second, and the eardrum itself is going to be very, very retracted. Now, we did a short on this a couple of weeks ago, so have a look at that if you don't understand what the retraction is or what I mean by the retraction. But when you look at it here, see how the light reflex is very diffused out and very kind of speckled? Yeah, the hammer bone, they're really prominent. Eardrum withdrawn into the space behind it. So yeah, the patient would have had a little bit of difficulty hearing with that issue going on as well as the wax. So a bit of a double whammy there as well. So you've got the plug that we removed here, 1 centimetre, and that's just under 1/2 inch. So all quite dry. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. There were some quite interesting cases in there. We shall see you tomorrow for day 7, I think. Is it day 7? No, day 6. Oh my goodness. So as always, guys, take care of yourselves, look after one another, and I shall see you again tomorrow.